As a qualified nutritional therapist, I've seen how being on constant alert for years can change our internal chemistry. But what is chronic inflammation? In its simplest form, inflammation is meant to protect us. Think of your immune system as a highly trained security team. When you have a cut or a physical trauma, blood rushing to the area is your innate immune system going into action. The fire that you feel, the heat and the swelling, is actually them doing their job to protect you and flushing out harmful organisms. That is acute inflammation, and it's a good thing because that's your body protecting you from harm. When we are under that constant alertness and anxiety, it's so much easier to reach for sugary, high carbohydrate and processed foods just to comfort ourselves or to feel better and forget our problems for a little while. By us doing that, we're adding to the chronic inflammation that's being built up as a result of the stressful situation that we're going through. When we've been doing that for a while, our immune system can get confused. It stays on alert and continues to release those immune chemicals. It's like a broken alarm system that keeps on going and eventually breaking down our brain health, our joints and our energy, and breaking down the cells which it's supposed to be protecting. And this is what's called chronic inflammation. This is why when you are going through a lot of stress for a long period of time, you may find that you're more forgetful, you have more joint pain, you may have worse digestive discomfort and just general aches and pains. Now, the problem with this is chronic inflammation is now considered to be one of the triggers for long-term health issues. And this is why it's really important that we need to keep chronic inflammation under control. So my first defense against chronic inflammation begins first thing in the morning with my coffee and what I put in it. Coffee provides high concentrations of antioxidants and polyphenols that blocks the master switch in the body that releases chemicals that cause inflammation. I like my coffee as a Maca, which is why I add 1 teaspoon of organic cocoa powder to my coffee in the morning. But in terms of protecting me from chronic inflammation, cocoa powder is also a rich source of those antioxidants and flavonols. The next powder that I add to my coffee is more of a supplement, and that is 1 teaspoon of lion's mane mushroom powder. And I use lion's mane mushroom powder namely to help me stay focused and mentally alert to do what I need to do during the day. When it comes to protecting me from chronic inflammation, lion's mane provides a source of bioactive compounds that support the growth and repair of brain cells, which is so vital for clearing brain fog and neutralizing free radicals. Finally, I add 1.5 teaspoons of Maca powder. I originally started adding Maca powder to help support me through the stresses of starting over, through the menopausal years, and now managing everything on my own while I live alone at 58. When it comes to supporting me through chronic inflammation and the stresses of life, Maca provides compounds that target different areas of the immune system, as well as just supporting me through the stresses of life as I rebuild. Lunch, is where I pack most of the nutrients to protect my midlife body against chronic inflammation. I have to share the kitchen, and I don't always have a lot of time to cook from scratch every day, so I batch prepare a salad each week with a base of cruciferous vegetables. And the reason I use broccoli mostly, or using other cruciferous vegetables, is because they support me with the effects of lower estrogen and the menopausal years. Cruciferous vegetables provide indole-3-carbinol and antioxidants that support your detox pathways. When you chop them, you release enzymes that converts glucosinolates into sulforaphane. This acts as a master switch, activating the NRF2 pathway, turning on dozens of protective antioxidant genes, which is part of our body's defense mechanism. Our gut is like a garden that requires a diverse ecosystem to support a strong immune system. Even as a nutritional therapist, I know that when we're living alone, it's unrealistic for us to eat the different types of fruits and vegetables that we're meant to have every single day to support our immune system and create a diverse ecosystem of gut bacteria. And I also know that when you're living alone, it's so easy to eat the same types of food every single day or every single week. But the problem with this is that when you are eating the same foods every time, you're limiting the diversity of your gut bacteria. And this will then have an effect on the strength of your immune system and supporting you through the stresses and the effects of chronic inflammation. Although it's unrealistic to have 5 different fruits and vegetables every single day, instead of aiming for perfection, every single week I will add 1 or 2 vegetables or even fruit to my base salad of cruciferous vegetables. And what this does is provide me with a greater diversity of gut bacteria than I would do if I was eating the same food every single week. The good thing by eating this way and just by adding different types of fruit or vegetables into your diet or into your meals every single week is that it keeps everything simple and you don't have to complicate things or buy the most expensive ingredients. It's just important that you vary the types of foods that you eat, which means that you're providing your body with a diverse ecosystem of gut bacteria to support you through chronic inflammation. And honestly, inflammation is such a big topic that it would be impossible to cover everything in one video. As a qualified nutritional therapist, there's so much more I could say about the connection between stress, hormones, gut health, and inflammation in midlife. So I've started putting together a more detailed guide, sharing the foods, routines, and simple meal ideas I personally use to support my body while rebuilding my life after 50. I know that berries are great for supporting our immune system against chronic inflammation. They are powerhouses of antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which help dampen that internal fire. But I have to be honest, I don't eat them every day. I have quite sensitive teeth, and sometimes the acidity can be too much for me. When I do have them, I'm very intentional. I'll pair a small amount of blueberries with Greek yogurt for quality protein and a rich omega seed mix. The healthy fats in the seeds actually help your body absorb certain nutrients better. It's a reminder that rebuilding isn't about a rigid list of superfoods. It's about adjusting the science to fit your life. While we're being honest, let's talk about turmeric. It is world-renowned for its anti-inflammatory properties, but I rarely use it in my own cooking. I just don't naturally create dishes with turmeric in my daily routine. Today, we are trying out the turmeric with beetroot. I hope you can see that. And before I try this, I thought I'd mention a little bit of what I felt the day after I took the first one, which was the plain turmeric on its own, just to give us a bit of a baseline to compare all the other ones that's got flavour in it. And I was okay after I took that first shot, but a few hours down the line, my stomach was a bit rumbly. I think that's just the fact that my system is not used to having so much turmeric in one go, and I wouldn't normally take any turmeric either in my food or as a supplement. You can definitely taste the tanginess of the turmeric as well as the earthiness of the beetroot. The beetroot tastes a bit stronger than the first one, to be honest. These are definitely an acquired taste. It's not unpleasant. It's just something to get used to. And I think the turmeric in this one, it feels a bit spicy. I'm not sure whether this has any pepper in it. Pepperine is a compound in black pepper to help the absorption of the compounds from the turmeric. I dress my salads with olive oil, which contains a unique antioxidant that works similarly to ibuprofen by blocking the specific enzymes that trigger pain and swelling. If you ever feel a peppery or stinging in your throat after having olive oil, that's the oleocanthal antioxidant compound in the olive working. High levels of oleic acid in olive oil also help lower C-reactive protein, or CRP. When CRP is high, it tells us that the fire alarm we talked about earlier is ringing loud. CRP is a marker in your blood that tells us how much inflammation is in your body. I also include oily fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines or anchovies for long-chain omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are converted into specialized pro-resolving compounds, which actively shut off the inflammatory process. Sometimes I also have half an avocado with my salads. Avocados are rich in tocopherols to help reduce cytokines, which are the chemical messengers that keep inflammation active when they are overproduced. I have to be honest that for the past few months I have gotten used to buying processed meals. I'm talking about breaded chicken, or breaded fish, or similar foods like that. In my mind, I was thinking that, oh, I'm having salads on the side, so it's a pretty healthy meal. But because I've been doing that for quite a while now, I've noticed that over time, my brain fog has gotten a bit worse. I'm not able to think as clearly as I would like. And I know that this is something that I have to resolve or I have to cut down on and think of ways that I can add more protein in my meals without having to resort to buying these types of processed meals or deep fried foods. One thing that I've been doing recently in terms of finding a different type of protein is having more quinoa. Quinoa provides a source of protein as well as fiber, which means that I don't have to depend so much on, say, chicken or beef or other animal sources of protein. I can make a quinoa salad alongside the broccoli salad that I normally have, And that then helps me stay full a lot longer in the afternoons or during the day, helping me just to keep focused without having to resort to those other deep fried or processed meals that I have been relying on recently. Stress is another thing I need to control, because the fight or flight reactions can stop your healing and fuel the fire of inflammation. Rebuilding after 50 keeps me in a constant state of anxiety. And I've realised that restoration or rebuilding isn't just about food. It's also about a nature reset. Since going back to the gym, I've not gone for walks to the park as much as usual. Thankfully, the weather is warmer, and just being in the garden can physically lower my stress levels. One of the most important things for lowering chronic inflammation is sleep. It's when we're sleeping that our body's clean-up crew goes to work, clearing out our metabolic waste from the day and resetting our immune system. So if we're not sleeping well, or we're not having enough restful sleep, we aren't restoring our immune system. Recently, I've been sleeping really well, and part of the reason for that is because I've been taking glycine powder. Glycine powder has been a game changer for my nervous system, helping me to get the rest that I need to rebuild this second part of my life. I'll share about how I take glycine to support my sleep and how it may help you too in this video right here.